Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nikitos Autos, the channel where I share my passion for cars. In today's video, we are continuing the story of my 1994 GMC Safari. For those of you who are just joining us, I bought this car sight unseen on the estate auction and drove it all the way from Kansas back to Ohio. And surprisingly, the van made it without any problems except for a terrible gas mileage, which I found out later is just the issue of most Astra Safari vans. So today we are going to take it to my friend's shop and see what is the mechanical condition of the vehicle. And at that time I was wondering if it is worth keeping the van or just trying to have a little bit fun with it and try to sell it. Well, as you can see, a year later it's still around us, so it actually turned out to be a pretty good car. Enjoy! Alright, let me tell you a little bit about what I knew about this van before heading out to Kansas. I pulled out the Carfax and the first thing I saw was that this car, at least on the record, did not have any damages or accidents reported to the system. There are some service records available. The car only had 2 owners and, well, it was owned in Kansas, which makes sense. Overall, there were 24 detailed records available, and the odometer matched the one that was disclosed by the auction house. It looks like the second owner, the one that I bought the car from, bought it in 1998 and owned it for 24 years, which is amazing, averaging out a little bit over 4,000 miles. Further details confirm that indeed it is a clean title vehicle, that the title has actual mileage, the van has never been in any accident, at least not reported to the system, so overall it looked really amazing and like a true steal based on the value I paid for it. Let's move on to the service history. Unfortunately, the first few records early in the history of the van were not very informative. However, coming closer to 118,000 miles, we're starting getting very detailed records. You can see them now on your screen. Looks like there has been work done to the brake system, to the cooling system, there were tires repaired that explained mismatched tires on front and back, and so on and so forth. The car was really well taken care of. The brakes look relatively fresh given that the car was purchased at 121,000 miles and the brake work, major brake work, has been done at 118,000. The last record is dated June 12, 2018, 120,000 plus, which is exactly pretty much the mileage I purchased it, and it explains that the car was barely driven since then, so actually it may have been even 4 years under the tree by the time I picked up the car. Before heading out back to Ohio, I naturally checked all fluids and they were all there. The oil naturally looked not the greatest, but at least it was there, which was good news and it was up to the level. So now let's go to Tom's Auto Service in Pataskala, Ohio, where my friend Tom is gonna see whether this purchase was a good idea or not.
Somebody's done AC work.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a new compressor. Yeah, I'm sure it's a new compressor because you can see the difference in how dirty.
Mm-hmm. Versus the rest of it. I mean, that's what they told me when I wanted. They said AC works. It has been recently serviced. The pad, I started looking. You can take it off probably. There are no replacement ones, so I might have to cut it myself.
Well, I mean, realistically, you do this,
And that's it?
it's pretty decent.
Yeah. Sure doesn't look
I mean, if you wanted to, you could take some black fabric dye and respray it.
yeah.
But yeah, I think just pulling that off.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Do you see any leaks?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
It feels like rear shocks are a little bouncy,
Okay.
maybe.
They are so scared of him. They are just trying to convince you that
Real thrilled with that inner fender.
Nobody's
Yeah, it's gone.
Kind of a big hole now.
Okay. Do they sell something replacement or covering?
Probably not.
All right.
And that's probably all from battery leakage
Oh, okay.
more than environmental. I mean, it is environmental, but.
It would make, if it was environmental, it was both sides, right?
Right. So we'll see more once we get under it.
Okay.
Leading up to this between the two of them, I think. So
Rusty, but it's sitting rusty. It's not.
It's not, it's surface, right?
Yep, it's got new lower ball joints. A new lower radiator hose. Assuming that's the original water pump.
Well, that's actually impressive if it's the original motor pump.
Oh yeah. Get back to White House, brother. Yeah. Could you, seriously, on a serious note, could you imagine these two, and I know everybody's just salivating over it. Oh, God. You know, these two, oh my gosh, so basically, you're basically telling me that it's 12 years of
Yeah, that was the last oil change, 610 of 13.
Well, definitely needs an oil change.
I'll take it. All right, that sounds good to me, and all right, that's all wrapped up, and we'll resume. Don't forget to put your calendar in the Dropbox. You know, we'll have those just sitting around the city for you. Don't vote in person. It's unconstitutional.
Got a new brake hose on this side. Maybe a new brake line. And I think they're probably replacement calipers. The brakes are newer. So it's had a crap load of money spent
Well, it's a
on the
good,
front end. Yeah, those are both new calipers.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's pictures here now. The stills that are coming out of that video make you so mad.
I'm just happy it's surface rust so far.
Yeah, outside of that inner fan, but see how solid this one is?
Yeah.
So it's the battery.
Battery just probably,
Yep.
it may have just exploded or,
Well, it was probably a weak battery that was overcharging.
I watched it this morning like 3 times.
the exhaust looks okay. Ish.
I think that is not original.
Well, at least this
Might
part.
be.
This part probably not, given that the other.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
from here back.
Yeah.
And there forward looks it.
Yeah.
That they leaked initially was supposed to be without sound because they didn't want the kids screaming on it, which clearly they are. I mean, it's I can't really watch it.
Man, it looked like replacement shocks.
It's really hard to think and see and hear the video and
Got a spare. Got air in it.
You can see him spy down the long corridor where the gunman comes in, and he's looking around the corner. And he takes off running, and that little one made it. But it's hard
But yeah, it's a ton of surface.
Well,
And actually, I don't see the shocks leaking. They're replacement shocks.
cops laughing.
but nowadays you can get, I would assume, surface rust removed.
That's a new fuel line.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as you're using it, some of that will go away.
Yeah.
The other thing, we can oil it down. Now you'll probably need to get the upper pad. It might come off because it's all in with these little clips, but usually they'll break
I think the
unless
new,
the bumper comes with it.
I think the bumper comes with something,
Okay.
and they have steps in the back, so you can order one with a step in it.
Okay.
So it will look a bit different, but it's fine. I don't care. Magic.
I can't think of anyone that would just blindly stand down.
Alrighty, so the story of Safari continues, and you can't see all the details, but the interior of that car is pulled apart because I'm slowly restoring it. I might have to take a break a little bit with it because, well, it's a pretty intensive and honestly not the most exciting part of the journey, and I might just do a little bit of styling updates, or, well, yeah, I'll just call them styling updates in the next video. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share this story with your friends, especially the ones who really like vans. I appreciate all the comments and feedback you can get me. So See you next time.